Hello and welcome to the Overly Animated Podcast, where we take animation seriously. We provide fan-oriented and analytic discussions on a variety of animated shows, movies, and anime, currently featuring Steven Universe, Gravity Falls, Miraculous Ladybug, and Ruby. I'm Dylan Hysen, and today I'm joined by Delaney Stovall.
Hello.
Today, Delaney and I will be discussing the latest episode of Miraculous Ladybug, Lady Wi-Fi. Woohoo!
Incredible.
Of the English dub of Miraculous Ladybug. As always, we're only covering the English dub of this series, which airs on Nickelodeon. We have not seen the episodes that have aired in France and Korea already. So no.
There were some broadcasting issues today.
On Nick.
Did you have the issues viewing like the last few scenes? Not like
No.
Really, because I had when she was doing the like Miraculous Ladybug and everything's fixed. Mine was like going in and out.
It was probably a local issue. Yeah, I didn't have that. Sigh. So yeah, no spoilers for any future episodes. If you've only seen the English dub on Nick like us, you are safe, etc., etc. Overlyanimated.com is where you can find out everything about this podcast. But Delaney, there's the most epic episode of the show to date, maybe. I don't know.
Yes.
Listed as 103 production number, by the way, by Nick, which is interesting. Let's get into Lady Wi-Fi. What did you think? It's the Alia episode.
Oh my god. So we've been talking, we're like, oh my god, Alia's gonna be villain, it's gonna be stressful.
Yeah, it was
so
stressful.
Okay, I will say at first I was like, oh my god, I'm really mad because like I hate I hate plot lines where we had Chloe, but it got so good because Chloe's just a ladybug freak. It's so good.
Yeah, that's the best way to go with that.
So good. Like at first I was like, oh my god, no, I do not want an entire episode where we think Chloe's ladybug. I can't handle it. But no, it was so great. This episode was so good. Like this episode had everything. Like it had Alia, and we even had Nino.
Yeah.
And then, like, so she got suspended. Like, Marinette got kicked out of class. And then everyone's like, oh my god, ew, it can't be Chloe, including Adrian. And then, the best part, though, was the end of the episode. Like, this, oh my god, there's just so much. It's so good. Like, this episode has everything you could possibly want in it.
This is there's so much here.
Like, it's the ultimate episode.
It's like the best Ollie episode, first of all, and then
Yes.
It's okay. Also, first thing with Lady Wi-Fi, I think is actually like the best of the villains so far because like it actually seems like she's gonna succeed for most of the episode.
Yeah, and like it's like super OP. Like
she's like OP and she's like super competent. Like the rest of these villains, it's just like obviously like one lucky charm beats her, but no, they had to do like a lot of stuff to overcome
they had to
this
like
plan. Like
it was like a big plan.
I'm glad that like we know Alia is the smart character, and then she was like the best villain too. I think that makes sense.
So
We had some great stuff involving their identities. They actually like keep continuity with these little masking them. Which I don't really understand, but which obviously doesn't make any sense. But like at least like they don't know it's Alia under. They don't like the only reason Marinette figures out that it's Alia is because of her ladybug charm on her phone. Like
even though
it looks exactly like her, right? So
like it's literally, and then like, did you wrongly suspend a student named Alia today? Like, are you kidding me?
A student? Oh yeah, I didn't even catch that.
Ridiculous! Right? Oh my god!
Yeah, it's like so they're keeping with the continuity, and then we get into the best stuff with Cat Noir and Ladybug at the end, with their identities and stuff. We like learn more about their specific whatever their things are, Tikki and Plagg or Krog or whatever.
Yeah.
But they're different. Like they're different, right? So we learn that too.
Yeah.
And also on top of that, this episode is like the weirdest dub lines ever, just constantly. And I just kept marking them down. I don't know if like the actual episode was just speaking in like references and platitudes the entire time, but just the dub definitely was. So like overall, it was like by far the most entertaining episode of the show. Just like there's everything here.
It was perfect.
But first, the most important thing, obviously, is we got to see Nino and Alia side by side, and they look exactly the same. Are they siblings? That's my question. Like their eye color is the same, their like skin tone is the same, which might be just the show like saying that all non-light skinned people look the same, but like it's assuming that they're not being racist, right? Like they look the exact same. I was wondering if they were siblings here. I think we might be revealing that later. I don't know.
I feel like that'd be interesting, especially given like because I ship Alia and Marinette. So also because I think we talked about in the beginning that like we felt like they were gonna force Alia and Nino together or something, and then given that Marinette like literally ignores Adrian, who's right there, and just like continues to tap Nino, which that would make sense if like Alia and Nino are siblings, because Marinette's just like, hey,
Yeah, well, we definitely see
hey.
that they're close here because
Yeah.
she like approaches Nino and like they're touchy and stuff. So I
Yeah.
don't know. My read on that is they look the same, so they're probably siblings.
Yeah.
But the episode doesn't say that.
Also, and there is no like, it's not any like romantic indication.
Yeah, it didn't seem
really.
like there was romantic stuff. When it seems like that's where they'd go
normal.
with it if they were going to do that, right? So
Yeah.
yeah.
So I feel like either they're just really good friends, or I think siblings is like a fair. Also, that'd be hilarious if like they're siblings and each of their best friends is the superhero and they're so dumb they don't know.
Yeah. Well,
That'd be-
everyone. Okay, let's talk about the identity stuff because I already talked about the charm thing, and you mentioned the student name Lawyer, right? So this is just the most absurd thing. Like, but like at least it actually makes it internal sense that once people are in their outfits, you cannot tell who they are according to the show.
According to the show.
And they write the show like that, even though visually it makes no sense because they obviously look like each other. And then, at the end, Alia's like, "Don't you think, Adrian?" Like, and then she draws on top of him.
Oh my god!
And it's obviously, and then Marinette's like, "Nah," like even though it looks exactly like him.
Yeah, even though it's hello. Ridiculous.
I do like how they justify it though when Marinette's like, nah, what is he? Adrian's like so much more legit than Cat Noir, right? So,
right.
Like that plays with her character really well. Yeah.
I actually thought when she handed her the phone the picture she was going to see his ring.
Yeah, there's like well, I guess all identifying things wouldn't. Well, the ring could be a way they could do that. Yeah.
Like I'm like this episode, like I knew they were not going to find out, but they played me up so bad. Like,
there's so many chances. This is the episode where Hawkmoth is also the smartest because he's like, make her use her lucky charm and so she'll have to transform and then you'll figure it out.
We didn't know that. We didn't know how that it would like begin the.
We knew we knew it drained her resources, but we didn't know. This episode makes it seem like it starts a countdown. Like after you use Lucky Charm, it's like 5 minutes until you're done.
Which also like deals with how we were talking about it. It's like Ladybug almost never has to go back. Like she's just like Cat Noir like literally has to take a break every 5 minutes.
Yeah, which I guess he always uses Cataclysm earlier in the show in the episode. So I guess that does make sense, right? Yeah.
But I think we have established that like since they're different.
They seem different though. I don't know. Well, I want to talk. Okay, before we get to there's so much here. So I want to talk about the difference between Tikki and Blog Krog. Yeah, him. Tiki's like we have to hide who we are at all costs, right? And she instills that in Meredith. By the way, okay, I'll come to this in a minute. But and then Adrian's thing is like, don't you want to see who the love of your life is? This was your chance. So it seems like he doesn't care at all about this identity
does not
thing.
Care.
So I don't know what's up with that, but that's interesting. Like maybe we'll
what if like he has like an ulterior motive and like him and Tikki have been like separated or something?
Yeah, they definitely came from a similar place and stuff.
So like, no, I'm not saying like I'm not going to ship like the Kwame.
You ship Tikki and Plagg? That's his name, Plagg.
Like, Plagg, okay. But, like, what if they're, like, I don't know, like, they might consider each other family or something if they're, like, the same thing. I don't know.
I looked for in the intro for the shot you were looking for. There's, like, a box with, like, 4 compartments or something.
Yeah. And there's, like...
There's theoretically 2 more Kwame, if that's what that is. Yeah.
So, like... Because they look like what we see. Like, they distinctly look like it.
Yeah.
So
I think that might be what they're going for. Okay, by the way, so the thing I was about to say.
Yeah, and then it's Nino and Alia. There we go. Problem solved.
Oh, yeah, they can become the last 2. That's probably where they're going if they're going to.
That'd be super
maybe
cool.
Chloe. Maybe Chloe actually gets a hero.
Oh, my God.
We'll talk about Chloe in a second, but Tikki talked a few times in the beginning of this episode, and after last episode, the way they sequence these, like I'm now like super creeped out by Tikki because she's like this eternal, all-powerful being, and she talks in this super moe like super cutesy voice, right? And I'm just like everything she says now. She's like, "Let's head down and finish your homework." I'm like, Tikki, no. Why are you concerned with her doing her homework? You've been alive for thousands of years. Oh my goodness. It's that she's like, I think as ridiculous as this show is, Tikki is like the most ridiculous thing to me now of everything. I don't know if
I'm really
I
not. I'm
need to see
really
hear
not
like
bothered by it.
I need to hear the other two versions to know if her voice is that high pitched because it's just absurd.
It doesn't like I don't know. This doesn't bother me, but maybe I'm just too used to things like this to not be like terrified by it.
I mean, it's not supposed to bother you. Like I'm definitely not in the right here, but it's just oh my god.
I
Yeah.
mean, I understand why you're bothered because, like, I mean, when you think about it, it is super creepy.
Yeah, and she's just like she like polices like this young girl's life too.
No,
Like,
that's what
oh
I
my
was about to
god,
say.
no.
No, what I was about to say. That's what I was gonna say. Like the part that would like, especially in this episode, she's like, no, like he can't find out. Like that's like the super creepy part that she's like in charge of like this like 14-year-old girl.
Like
Like
we need to take this show and dub a like super low pitched like older male voice over Tikki, and that character is just completely different. Like it's
yeah,
so awful.
terrifying.
Yeah, it would be so
Here,
terrifying. I need to do
here,
that.
no,
That should
but
be my project.
Kiki's voice needs to be like Yellow Diamond. That's what it needs to be.
That would also be creepy too if you had Penny.
There's really no way for it to not be creepy, and I think that's why they did the high pitched voice to
Yeah.
make it like slightly less creepy. But just when you think about it, it's even more creepy.
Oh no, yeah, because she's just involved in every aspect of Marinette's life. Oh my goodness.
Like she lives in her purse.
Yeah, it's not okay. I'm not okay with this.
Just not good. Disturbing.
Let's talk about
Meanwhile, Cat Noir just has like this dumb who just wants cheese all the time.
like his is not creepy.
Did we not? Wait, no, we fed Tikki once, didn't we? Didn't we have to like make her eat something once because she was tired?
Yeah, I think so.
That was just once though. So like, does she eat like once a year or something?
I don't know how they work. Let's talk about Chloe now. We learn first of all, what Sabrina is her assistant's name. We actually hear that for the first time in the dub. How do we think Chloe? Like, so obviously Chloe's not sympathetic when she like threatens to call her dad and stuff, but then she's like cosplaying Ladybug later, and it's the best. So where are you on Chloe now?
Well, then my concern is like, is that why she didn't want her in her lockers? Because she was afraid she'd find out she's like a Ladybug.
Exactly why. Yes,
it's so good. Like, I mean, Chloe is still like terrible, but like this is hilarious. Like, it's just so good. Fangirl.
Yeah, I don't know.
Which makes me think, I guess we're gonna get it. Okay, like, I actually don't know if I doubt we'll have Chloe as a villain because like that wouldn't really make a lot of sense. So I feel like because like she's already so bad, like why? What would have to happen to Chloe for her to become a villain? So I feel like we might have something like maybe her dad or something, or somebody who's trying to go after her dad, and maybe she's more involved and like gets to like meet Ladybug or something.
Yeah,
that'd be interesting. Like maybe someone gets fired by the mayor, or the mayor does something, and then they become the villain, and their target is the mayor.
Yeah, I could see it. Yeah, I don't know. This is definitely her biggest episode. So
it's so funny. It's just so great.
Let's talk about. We didn't talk that much about Adrian as or Alia as Lady Wi-Fi. So like. Okay, so one of the biggest takeaways for this episode is how like terrible it is about technology, but it's just like every cell tower. There's one part where let's find this this quote by Marinette here as Ladybug. She says, "Come on, micro thingies, jam the signal." She like literally says that. Come on, micro thingies.
It's a microwave.
Like okay, microwave jamming the cell tower. Okay, none of it makes sense, obviously, but also
it didn't jam the cell tower. It jammed like
the that thing doesn't make sense on its own. So I guess you can apply whatever logic to it you want, right? So
like it was just jamming the whatever signal to.
Why does Ladybug? Why did Alia lose her powers when she was out of cell range? Why are her powers connected to the?
She ran out of data.
Yeah, why does she need data to operate? That's why.
Because I guess she's Wi-Fi. Like I don't.
Also, Wi-Fi and cell data are obviously not the same thing.
They're obviously not the same thing. But I guess like if she didn't have cell service or whatever, like because like you use data to get onto the internet, so I guess it was just something she used to get into the internet. And if she was out, she couldn't. Because it's very clear though that the phone is her portal. So I think that does make sense.
She gets a smartphone at the end, but her old phone also had Wi-Fi and could broadcast things. Like if her new phone's a smartphone, what was her old phone? Because that was obviously also a smartphone.
Well, I thought she just said I got a new smartphone.
I think she said I got it. Oh, okay, yeah. Either one.
I think she just got a newer phone. Like she got like the iPhone 6 or
which
whatever.
They should have said. Which they should definitely.
That would have been great.
Yeah. So I love how they integrate Alia's her like.
So why did she need a new phone?
Because they broke her phone, right?
Oh, they didn't. She fixed it. That's what happens when she goes, Miraculous Ladybug. I do the arm movement when I say Like I do.
Do you actually?
And then I'm doing it right now. And then she like
They
both
did. You're
times
right.
I've
They
said
did fix it. Yeah.
fix like because when she does it, it fixes everything, which
Yeah.
is why this show is just so like ridiculously like I can't even get mad at this show for not being continuous. Like the show like solves all its problems like in the show.
By the way, there's like they're outside the hotel where everything happens, and like the police and the mayor are there. So it's like the whole city is aware of everything that's happening. So does Miraculous Ladybug like wipe all their memories, or are they just aware that just this happens every time, every so often, and then everything gets fixed? I think it's that latter one. Like I think people remember.
Yeah,
right?
I think that's what it is because like the villain. Well, it's because they. Why else would they worship them? Like why else?
Yeah,
would
it's
they be like,
yeah, exactly.
But it's just the villains don't remember. Well, why don't the villains remember?
That I guess that makes sense if you're like, I can buy that. I mean, it doesn't make sense to like change
I mean, if
someone's.
it's like mind control, I guess. But
Yeah,
it's like
like
how
that.
powerful is Hawkmoth?
Well, yeah, Hawkmoth seems.
Also, I had a thought. I think Hawkmoth tracks them through the Miraculouses. Like, I think he can only like tell like if they're Ladybug and when they're Cat Noir. Like that's the only way he knows.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like
So then
only
I
when
think
only when they're active. Yeah.
yeah. And I don't even mean like like somebody's gonna be like, OMG, duh, Delaney. Like when they're superheroes, he's paying attention. Like no, I mean like when they activate, like he knows or something. And so that's why he's like, get the Miraculous.
Does he have a
Like,
panel in front? Yeah, he seems to have something in front of him, right? That like
I think he can track because otherwise, like, it wouldn't make a lot of sense. Because then to be like, because the way the show presents it, it's like he's watching everything. So then be like, how wouldn't he know who they are? But if he can only tell when they're activated,
yeah,
that would make sense.
I think that's true. Yeah.
That was just a thought I had today. That I was like, oh man, maybe this is what it is.
Man, so much expanding of the show's mythology. Let's go through some of the ridiculous lines throughout this episode in the dub, and we can talk about some stuff we missed too. Oh yeah, in the beginning we had Alia like cutting out a picture in Ladybug's face and like holding it over people.
And then naturally, Marinette isn't there. Typical.
Yeah, okay. Oh, that's the other thing. Thank you for reminding me. Marinette's obviously absent, and then she sees on her phone that this Ladybug did something, and she doesn't connect it at all. Like, she just
like, and then Adrian, too. Like, he also wasn't there.
Adrian, yeah.
Like,
that's
guys,
true.
this isn't that hard. There's, like, 4 people in your class. Also, they're only ever in that woman's class.
Yeah.
Like, they only ever see them in that class.
Which is pretty typical of a cartoon. They're like, we only see them in one class, yeah. Yeah, so
it's like English class, I guess.
Someone says whoever's behind all. That is a notable line to me. Tikki said, "Whoever's behind all of this, something, something, something." Right? I think that was
really
Tikki.
Powerful.
So like Tikki doesn't know who the enemy is. Like that's pretty notable to me.
So they don't know who they're fighting. They just know they have to capture Akuma.
How does Tikki not know? That doesn't make any sense. Like you've been turning people into ladybugs, which means you've been fighting someone the entire time. Like there are thousands of years. So does that mean that the Hawkmoth alternates too? Is that what that's implying?
Well, I mean, the Egyptian episode, like Tutankhamun was the bad guy. So I guess like the bad guy changes. Like it's whoever has the Akuma. But then I guess that means like you get Akuma. Like you can somehow like I don't know, like produce Akuma or you capture the Akuma and you like make them do stuff. Like I don't know how it works.
Who's gonna save Marinette from her homework? Does she say that about herself? Yeah, I think. Or is that Tikki? I think that's herself. That's
I think Marinette, yeah.
Nice line, Marinette.
Also like their homework's like an iPad. They just do their homework on a tablet.
Yeah, that's the future. No, it's not, but like it's the future of education.
Well, I mean, I went to a school and we had MacBooks, and like everyone else has iPads, so like yes.
Nino about Chloe. If she's the superhero, then I'm the Wizard of Oz. There's one of the lines. I wonder how that played in. I wonder how that played in French. That's
the Wizard of Oz.
I'm curious.
Okay, so then my question: if that's the dub,
yeah,
they change his reference.
They probably that's how they typically dub things. You make it a reference to make sense to the audience. I mean, Wizard of Oz might be universal enough that
that's like that. Super awkward.
Like, also, like that's like a terrible American reference. So
that's a terrible.
I kind of think that was just like what he actually said. Like, and then they just translate it like that. Chloe during this scene in the principal's office, and the principal's like, and nothing was stolen then, only my very soul. It's like burglarizes my inner being, drains my very life force. That was great. Like this is like some of the best.
Locker at her secret garden. I was done.
My secret garden, yeah. Like I love Chloe for this scene. It's so good.
Like, this scene is quality, but I was just like,
This is the best dubbed part, I think, of
She's
the
not a
whole show.
superhero. She's psychotic.
Oh yeah. She's no superhero. She's a super psycho. Says yeah. Who said that? That was Alia about Chloe, right? Yeah. She was all that whole scene ends with her suspended. I'll expose the lies of anyone that covers up the truth. Said, oh, that's the other thing I really loved about Alia's Lady Wi-Fi. Her motivations are great. That's totally in line with this episode. Is like the best written one because it just has the best setup for the villain plot or for the superhero part, and it has the best superhero part that functions on its own. Like everything.
I feel like this, like, it just works so much better if we know who the villain is. Like if it's a character like the Bubbler.
Yeah, definitely.
Even though we didn't really know Nino, we had more intro to him than like really other villains.
It works much better if we know. Yeah.
Like
they are capable of doing a good one from a random person with stormy weather, but yeah. I'm Lady Wi-Fi exposer of truth. Yeah, I just love everything ties to identity. It is interesting that the dub presented it in a way we didn't know this major aspect of Alia's character, which is like her like defining thing. She's like the best friend with the Ladybug blog. We didn't know that for 5 episodes about her. So that's But now this is just like the defining thing about her character. And also this was the 3rd produced episode, so it seems like it was supposed to be like the biggest thing about her.
I wonder if we're gonna get Sabrina the villain.
Yeah, I think so. That makes sense.
Like, I feel like that's pretty likely.
When Marinette sees that it's Alia, Tikki's like, "Oh no, you're gonna have to fight your best friend," and Marinette's like, "No, I'm gonna have to save my best friend." I like that they like know that this is a big one, right? Like I like that they pointed out and it's aware.
Yeah. Good.
And then Plagg to Adrian when he thinks that it's Chloe also means you must have a crush on Chloe, right? I think.
And Adrian's like, no.
Yeah, he's like, no. Yeah.
Look on his face is like ill.
They see Chloe cosplaying Ladybug. She's obviously just a diehard fan, a copycat. Okay. They should have used cosplay as the word. That would have been better.
But then no, but they're referencing the other episode, Copycat.
Yeah, but Copycat was after this.
Yeah, but that could have been like some sort of weird attempt at foreshadowing.
I guess, yeah.
Because it's a weird Copycat. It really isn't like a sentence. Like that's a sentence, a word. Like I think that was very purposeful, and I actually liked it because it works well. Okay. And especially,
I think they're just trying to make it. I think they're just making a cat pun. She was just making a cat pun, which they turned into a whole episode later. I think that's what that was.
I don't know.
They say the word correctamundo in the dub, so good job from that. Alia's been disconnected. Newsflash. He says "milady" again in this episode. So it's official. Cat Noir wears a fedora. Like let's just be. That's like canon. They say he said it twice now. Like it's canon.
Yep. He's probably gonna. Somebody's gonna probably make him a fedora.
I in the show, yeah, it has to happen. Cat to Ladybug, you realize we might actually know each other in normal life, and then Ladybug doubt it. Okay, so at least they've thought of it now, and then she just instantly dismisses it. And I think it makes sense that why she. Well, no, it doesn't make sense that she dismisses the normal life thing. It makes that end of the episode presents a kind of convincing thing as to why she wouldn't think it's Adrian, right? Because she so lowly of Cat, but. Come on.
Well, I think it makes sense just because she's just she doesn't care. I guess she's like whatever. Cat.
Yeah, I don't buy her not caring, but yeah. Adrian says, "How now, brown cow?" There's another one. Thank you.
Well, just because the thing is, every time Cat Noir just comes off all the time is because he likes her, and she's just like no.
Yeah.
Like continuously. Yeah. So I think it plays that's why she plays things like that off because she's like shut up.
He would care more about who she is than the reverse. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why doesn't it come off when Alia's trying to take Ladybug's mask off? Because it's magic. I like that.
That was great. Thank you for establishing the show.
I'm not his love bug, said Marinette. Yeah.
Ladybug, whatever.
Yeah, he's trapped in the freezer. We have all that stuff. Get her to use her lucky charm. We talked about that. Micro thingies jam the signal. Then he's takes down a cell tower, even though that didn't seem like it was that tall. I don't know what that was, but I guess that's what they're for.
Well, there's a cell tower on her house. What?
Which kind of makes sense if she's in the middle of Paris. If she's right next to.
I don't know.
At first, I was like, really, she's no signal in the middle of Paris, but at least they explained it.
Yeah, that's true.
Also, taking down one cell tower, I don't think would do that, but it's okay.
whatever.
Yeah. Can I get a quick interview? Let me grab my phone. Says that's like
Or,
her.
oh, yeah.
That's like her first reaction to seeing the two of them. I love that, and I totally relate to her about that. Like as someone who does.
Let me get my phone.
Yeah.
So good.
Can I get a quick interview? Yeah. I also like it's just so canon that like she's not like a fangirl thing. She's just like is, but she manifests it in like this type of way. It's
Yeah,
like it's
like-
like how I am with the Avatar and Korra fandom. Honestly, like that's like me. Like when I see a news post, I'm like I have to instantly post it. Not that like I freak out about it first. So I like feel Alia a lot on this. Most relatable character for me.
Alia's just great.
Think
Just in
yeah.
general, she's just the best.
Stay. I won't tell anybody who you are. Cat's honor, says Cat Noir. Nobody must know who you really are, even us. And then he's like about to peek, and then he doesn't.
That was really great. I was very happy about that.
Yeah, I don't know why he didn't though. Like, why didn't he?
Well, like, I mean, it's like a super like duper invasion of like privacy.
Oh, because she's kind of I guess they're changing. I don't know if like.
Well, it's not just that, but he would have broken her trust, and then the whole idea like she said no, which like that ties into all sorts of things.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. You're right.
Like, so he didn't like.
So the question is it realistic within his character?
I feel like it is because like Cat Noir is obnoxious, but like he really just puts on an act.
Yeah, that he definitely seems like he's putting
literally all talk. Like this is like he just, and it's like kind of like he wouldn't appreciate it if like he had just told somebody no about like who like I mean it is a big deal, and I am like because I think it's really easy for someone who's read a lot of comic books and who's very much like anyone who's a super fan of comic books, DC, Marvel, doesn't matter what you read, or superheroes, like we kind of downplay the idea about secret identities because we think it's ridiculous. Like, oh my God, really? It's Clark Kent. He wears glasses. You can't tell it's Superman. But I do think the idea of a secret identity is like, it is important. And I do think it's interesting that this show seems to really respect the idea of the secret identity and like what it stands for and like what it means. And like why, and in this show actually it does a lot of work to protect their secret identities. I think it's kind of like I don't know, like it actually makes secret identities kind of like a precious thing. I don't know, it's different because usually we just we make fun of it, like we play it off a lot for laughs, but like this show really is doing a lot about like how important their identities are.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think this might have been the best whatever their ship name is type moment from like Adrian's perspective. You definitely learn that he cares about her a lot.
And I think like, and that was like, I think it's Cat Noir's greatest moment is him not doing that. Like I was very, very happy about it.
Yeah.
It says a lot.
I think it does. Yeah.
And it's definitely like a deeper, I think it's a much deeper moment than you would necessarily expect from like this show.
I think so. Like usually, like I was expecting once they like devilize the villain, it's just like fluff until the end, right? But we actually got some substance here, which like really makes this episode special.
And like even though the episodes aren't continuous in like the traditional sense, like this show is like continuous. Like there's a lot of build up to things, and like we really are established. Like it doesn't really matter the order of the episodes.
Yeah, it's
just like we're getting these moments, and I think it doesn't like, and it's very interesting. They're doing a lot, especially given this is kind of like, this, like, I'd say episodic. Like, we watch shows as episodes, but, like, these things are things where everything gets solved in one episode, that they're really doing a lot. And I'm very impressed with, like, how like, what episode is this? Episode, what number?
I mean, production order, like, airing order, there's, like, a lot of stuff.
I just mean, like, this is, like, for how many episodes we've seen. Like,
there's, like, 7, I think, yeah.
Yeah, we've I'm very shocked by like the quality of the show.
Considering it makes no progress plot wise from one episode to the other, there's a lot of depth of mythology and characterization. Yeah,
it's very interesting, and I don't think we really expected this on the on set when we started covering it.
I agree. Yeah, it's like it's like ridiculous a little bit, but it's also like more substantial than I thought it'd be. Yeah.
Yeah.
At the end, we get the don't you think he looks like Cat Noir thing, and then they take a selfie with the two of them at the end, which is the best.
Precious.
Was this episode more of a Maralia or more of a Cat and Ladybug episode? Which one?
I feel like they were both. Like it was fairly like equal. I mean, it's no. I mean, this is still nowhere near like the one like Maralia episode that was like intense.
Yeah,
but it's close.
Yep. Yep. I agree. So overall, I think it's the best episode of the show we've seen. Pretty
Yeah.
strong. Next week we
And
have
just on every point, like with every
it's
character,
everything is just it's good. It's like it hits a remarkable amount of characterization considering it focuses on so many people.
yeah, like it's quality.
And Alya's the best, and she needs to be more of the focus. Like she was like the last 3 weeks were like the Alya weeks, right? So we need more.
Yes.
More of
More Alya.
that. We're on episode 8, I think, of the dub next week. We're fairly quickly catching up to where the other two are, although a new episode aired in France last week. So the France airing, originally the Korean airing was ahead of the France, and now France is ahead of Korea. So that's where we are with that. I figured that out. Okay. I'm Dylan Nice, and that's Delaney Stovall, overlyanimated.com. Comments, let us know what you thought of this, what you think of our points. No spoilers, though. You can support us at patreon.com/overlyanimated. Thanks to our current patrons, Shayna, Mitch, Cordell, Beatrice, Nate, Auntie Jamie, and Rachel, aka Hey Nephew, Mitch, Cordell, University, Beatrix Exchange, Buzz Lightyear, Mailman, Rachel Rose. I know this that will have at least new episodes the next 2 weeks. It just seems like Nick's going to keep going every Sunday noon. We'll be back next Sunday to cover the next episode. Yep.
Woo.
Yep. Yay, cool. Last thoughts?
I'm just not over Chloe in like the Ladybug outfit. So great.
It was pretty good. Okay, thanks. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.